So a big hello and a very warm welcome to everyone. I'm Karanbir, a lifelong learner and social entrepreneur. I'm dedicated to transforming learning, well-being, and our current socioeconomic paradigm. My focus, uh, approach at, and commitment to learning media and evolving in education and to concepts such as altruism, cognitive balance, and satisfaction economy demonstrate my commitment to mental resilience, holistic development, and open access. These efforts showcase the power of personalized and purposeful learning experiences, inspiring others to reimagine education and beyond for the better. Cognitive balance is a state of mental well-being that involves balancing our emotional and cognitive processes in a way that allows us to navigate our lives effectively. Neuroscience research continues to qualify that our thoughts, emotions, and actions impact our individual and societal health and well-being. Emotions and cognition are deeply interconnected and both play a crucial role in our decision-making, attention, perception, memory, and behavior. So, cognitive balance is a state of mental consistency where a person's beliefs, experiences, and expectations match any new information or any new experience or and how people resolve these inconsistencies in those relationships. From the perspective of learning theory and practice, the basic categorization of learning is cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. And since I've been in the education field for a long time now, over 20 years, the approach I've taken to sharing it as a skill combines these theories into simple to understand logic and easy to do practices. So, in the book Cognitive Balance, I explore the concept and its role in helping individuals and society navigate a rapidly changing world. It highlights the importance of balancing our thinking processes, emotions, behaviors, and provides strategies for achieving cognitive balance in a world that is becoming increasingly complex, unpredictable, and isolating. So there are various topics related to cognitive balance, including the nature of the human mind and its susceptibility to bias, the role of emotions in decision making, the impact of technology on our cognitive processes, the importance of critical thinking and mindfulness. It also discusses the need for greater empathy and understanding in our personal and social interactions, and the role of cognitive balance in promoting a more peaceful and equitable world. So in the book, I argue that achieving cognitive balance is essential for navigating the challenges of a world in flux and provides practical guidance for developing the cognitive and emotional skills needed to achieve this balance. It's aimed at a wide audience, including individuals seeking personal growth, professionals in fields of psychology and education, and policymakers and activists interested in promoting positive social change. We will, of course, stick to the realm of learning and education in this session. So, I'm thrilled to have you here as we embark on this journey into the realm of cognitive balance. It's a concept that's more than just a theory, it's a transformative approach to learning, teaching, and life. Today, we'll try and unpack what cognitive balance truly means and explore how it can become a powerful tool in anyone's learning or educational toolkit. By the end of this session, you'll not only understand the essence of cognitive balance, but also be equipped with practical strategies to infuse it into everyday interactions, whether you're an educator, learner, or both. Um, so We'll tackle questions like what is cognitive balance? Why does it matter now more than ever? How can integrating cognitive balance reshape our approach to education? And what practical techniques can we adopt to foster this balance in ourselves and others? Let's just switch gears for a moment. Um, and if you may just consider the human heart and how the heart beats blood around the body. It's a process that's both marvelously complex and beautifully orchestrated. Um, so imagine, metaphorically speaking, that the heart is a river's source, and your blood vessels are the river itself, branching into streams and creeks that reach every part of the landscape, which is your body. Without the constant flow from the source, the landscape wouldn't thrive. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. The heart doesn't work in isolation. It's influenced by our thoughts, emotions, and experiences. When you're excited, it beats faster. When you're calm, it slows down. This interconnectedness mirrors the concept of cognitive balance we're exploring. Just as the heart maintains physical equilibrium, cognitive balance maintains mental and emotional harmony. Did you know that the concept of heart intelligence suggests that the heart sends more signals to the brain than the brain sends to the heart? It's a dynamic conversation influencing our perceptions and decisions. Just as the heart ensures every cell receives what it needs, cognitive balance ensures our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors are aligned and responsive. So, just something to ponder. How might the synchronization of our physical and cognitive hearts enhance not just personal well-being, but also the collective learning experience? So moving on, there are many ingrained systems that cause large-scale dissonance in society, which include the economic system, our political systems, social systems, environmental systems, educational and religious systems. We will focus today on the educational systems. For example, they contribute to dissonance when they fail to provide equal opportunities for all students or promote a narrow perspective on knowledge and learning. For example, prioritizing standardized testing and rote memorization over critical thinking and creativity. And of course, devaluing other important skills and abilities. So, in today's educational landscape, cognitive balance has become nothing short of essential. We're navigating an era marked by rapid technological advancements, information overload, and unprecedented challenges, both inside and outside the classroom. Amidst this complexity, cognitive balance acts as a compass, guiding students, educators, parents, communities, and society toward a more harmonious and effective learning experience. Why is cognitive balance crucial now? Well, first of all, because the information overload with the internet and digital media, we're inundated with information. Cognitive balance helps us sift through this noise to find meaningful knowledge. Uh, Emotional turbulence. There's rising levels of stress, anxiety, and mental health issues. We're in a mental health epidemic. This all highlights the need for strategies that promote emotional well-being. And of course, with the changing times, the changing tools and technology, there there's complex problem solving that's come up now from a change from the past as well. Today's problems are multifaceted. Our students are studying interdisciplinary courses here. So cognitive balance fosters the ability to think critically and adaptively. It has benefits for students, which is enhanced learning and ability. So it increases focus and concentration and adaptability. emotional well-being by stress reduction. There are techniques for promoting balance that decrease anxiety and lead to a healthier student life. There's increased resilience as students build coping mechanisms to handle academic and personal challenges. And there are improved relationships. Both empathy and social skills improve uh, as better interactions are fostered with peers, promoting a collaborative learning environment. There are benefits for educators as well. Effective teaching, there's clarity in instruction, a balanced mind enhances communication, making it easier to convey complex ideas. Uh, it increases patience and responsiveness, which help teachers respond to diverse student needs. Then there's, of course, the concept of professional satisfaction. It helps prevent burnout by reducing occupational stress, combating fatigue and disillusionment. And it promotes continuous growth by encouraging an open mindset, embracing new teaching methods, and lifelong learning. And of course, there's a positive classroom environment that's created through model behavior and through conflict resolution. Parents are benefited as well through understanding the needs of the children. They can support child development in the home environment, promoting a peaceful and stimulating environment that's conducive to learning. It also improves parent-teacher collaboration through effective communication and shared strategies. Communities benefit through this through a strengthened social fabric. There's more community engagement. So, individuals are more likely to participate positively in community activities. And there's reduction in conflicts, something that we're seeing a lot of these days. Uh, that happens through the promotion of empathy and understanding among community members. And of course, educational advancement and collective growth, where communities often see improvements in educational outcomes. It benefits society as a whole as well by improving innovative problem solving through critical thinking and provides economic prosperity because you're creating a productive workforce where employees who can manage stress and are adaptive to the changing skill sets. And of course, there's social harmony. So there's acceptance, reduced prejudice, contributing to a more harmonious society. Just just to summarize that, cognitive balance isn't just a personal asset. It's a catalyst for widespread transformation. By integrating it into educational theory and practice, we're not only enhancing individual learning experiences, but also fostering a more empathetic, resilient, and innovative society. So just some questions to consider after this slide as well. How can we as individuals cultivate cognitive balance in our daily lives? And what steps can educational institutions take to embed these principles into their curricula? So just moving on to a short definition of cognitive balance, clarify things and move ahead. So it's cognitive balance is the harmonious regulation of our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. It is the state of mental equilibrium where these three facets align to promote optimal functioning, learning, and interaction with the world around us. Achieving cognitive balance means navigating life's complexities with clarity, resilience, and adaptability. Imagine your mind as a finely tuned orchestra. Each instrument represents thoughts, emotions, or behaviors. When they play in harmony, the music is beautiful and impactful. If one instrument is out of tune, the entire performance suffers. Cognitive balance ensures that all parts work together seamlessly, creating a symphony of effective learning and living. The key components of cognitive balance, thoughts, which includes understanding cognition. Uh, these are the mental processes that enable us to make sense of the world, our beliefs, ideas, perceptions, and reasoning. Uh, their role in cognitive balance is perception shaping. So thoughts influence how we interpret experiences. Positive thoughts can foster optimism, while negative thoughts may lead to pessimism. And of course, in decision making, clear and balanced thinking aids in making informed decisions, critical in learning and problem solving. So, also, how do we cultivate healthy thoughts? We can do that through, practices such as mindfulness. Being present helps in recognizing unhelpful thought patterns as well, and something like reflective journaling, where you can write down your thoughts and uncover subconscious beliefs impacting your behavior. Moving on to emotions, emotional awareness includes all the complex reactions to the multiple stimuli that we're receiving at every moment, in every moment. So these involve our physiological responses, our feelings, and our expressions. So understanding our or having this emotional awareness helps us in motivation and engagement. Positive emotions like curiosity enhance learning engagement. Negative emotions like anxiety can hinder it. Emotional regulation as well, ability to manage emotions prevents them from overwhelming thoughts and behaviors. Now, cultivating this emotional balance through emotional intelligence training is basically like recognizing and understanding one's own and others' emotions. And we can do that through a model of understanding personality as well, which I've discussed in another presentation too. And then, of course, there's stress reduction techniques to manage emotions, practices like deep breathing and meditation, especially to manage our emotional responses. And lastly, our behaviors. So these are our observable actions, the outward expressions of our internal states, manifested through actions and reactions. So through our observable actions, we form habits. Consistent behaviors shape habits that can either support or undermine learning. And our social interactions. Our behaviors influence relationships with peers, educators, and community members, apart from family. Of course, cultivating positive behaviors would be uh, through practices like goal setting, where you can define clear objectives uh, to help guide your behavior towards desired outcomes. And of course, feedback mechanisms. Constructive feedback reinforces beneficial behaviors and modifies detrimental ones. Now, there's an interplay between thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. These components don't operate in isolation. They're deeply interconnected in what's referred to as the cognitive triangle. Thoughts interplay with the emotions. What we think affects how we feel. For example, interpreting a challenging task as an opportunity leads to excitement. Seeing it as a threat evokes anxiety. Uh, Emotion, the interplay between emotions and behaviors, how we feel influences how we act. Feeling confident might encourage participation in class, while fear may result in avoidance. And of course, the interplay between behaviors and thoughts. Our actions reinforce certain thoughts. Successfully completing a task can enhance self-belief. Procrastination may lead to negative self-judgment. I must admit, I did procrastinate when it came to preparing this presentation. Um, so just moving on to try and see how uh, cognitive balance can be looked at from a societal perspective and how it benefits us, not just individuals, but communities and society as a whole. So, just connecting back to the bigger picture, achieving cognitive balance is not a one-time task, it's an ongoing process. It's about cultivating habits and mindsets that continuously align your internal processes with your external actions. In education, this means creating environments that support this balance. Curricula that address emotional intelligence, teaching methods that encourage active thinking, and policies that promote well-being. So moving on to the foundations of cognitive balance and the theoretical background. We will have an interactivity later, so I'll try to not get this too boring. I'll try and move through this as fast as possible. So to fully appreciate the concept of cognitive balance in learning, it's essential to explore its theoretical underpinnings. Cognitive balance is not a standalone idea, but is deeply rooted in established psychological theories and educational research. So we'll delve into some foundational theories that inform cognitive balance and highlight some key studies that demonstrate its significance in the educational landscape. So to start off with Piaget's theory of cognitive development, the equilibration process. Uh, Jean Piaget posited that cognitive development is driven by a quest for equilibrium, a harmonious state where existing cognitive structures or schemas align with new experiences. This includes assimilation and accommodation. And in Piaget's theory, equilibration is the process of moving between assimilation and accommodation to restore balance. This adjustment is crucial for learning and adapting to new information. So, the relevance of his theory is it's foundational for intellectual growth. It explains how learners navigate cognitive conflicts to build more sophisticated understanding as well. Then there's Festinger's cognitive dissonance theory. So, Festinger introduced the concept of cognitive dissonance, where individuals experience discomfort when holding conflicting cognitions. And this impacts our motivation, where individuals are driven to reduce dissonance to achieve cognitive harmony. Uh, Strategies that he suggested included changing beliefs, acquiring new information, or adjusting behaviors. The application in learning is cognitive dissonance can actually be a catalyst for learning when students confront misconceptions, for example. And resolving dissonance leads to more stable and integrated knowledge structures. Moving on to Vygotsky's social-cultural theory and zone of proximal development. Lev Vygotsky emphasized the social context of learning, asserting that cognitive functions develop through social interactions. So cognitive balance in the zone of proximal development could be put across as how educators facilitate cognitive balance by scaffolding learning, providing support that aligns with the learner's current developmental level. Then we have the social cognitive theory and reciprocal determinism. It was proposed that learning is a result of the interplay between personal factors, cognitive and emotional, uh, behaviors, and environmental influences. So, beliefs about one's capabilities affect motivation and learning outcomes, and high self efficacy contributes to cognitive balance by fostering confidence and resilience. So, by modeling behaviors, by observing others, individuals learn and can integrate cognitive and social components into their learning. Then there's metacognition and self regulated learning. So, metacognition can be defined as thinking about thinking or learning about learning. And metacognition involves awareness and regulation of one's cognitive processes. Uh, its role has often been highlighted in effective learning. Self-regulated learning involves goal setting, self-monitoring, and self-assessment, all tools of mindfulness or practice of regulating your emotions. Learners actively manage their thoughts, emotions, and behaviors in self-regulation. So metacognition and self-regulated learning enable learners to maintain balance by adapting strategies to meet cognitive demands. Then there's emotional intelligence theories by Daniel Goleman, self-awareness, self-regulation. There's motivation, empathy, social skills. So emotional intelligence contributes by integrating emotional regulation with cognitive processes. It enhances interpersonal relationships and fosters a supportive learning environment. Then there's the cognitive load theory as well, which is so basically get the idea. And there are a lot of relevant researches and studies that have come out recently as well. But just to create another shift in our way of looking at things, one of the first few theories that came out in the 1920s was the Hawthorne effect, and by Warner and Mayo, I believe. The Hawthorne effect was a behavioral phenomenon that occurs when people change their behavior because they are aware of being observed. And now, if you consider quantum physics and human behavior, in quantum physics, there's the observer effect, which states that the process of observing a particle changes the way the particle behaves. So this kind of goes to show that we're all connected to each other and everything else at a quantum level, and how we impact each other and how we should learn to better impact ourselves and each other as well. So just want to bring out some case studies as well. There were specific case studies, but while going through the case studies, I realized that there were a lot of commonalities. A lot of schools were doing this as well. So I'll just generalize the some of the case studies and bring them out. So bringing the concept of cognitive balance from theory into practice illuminates its transformative potential in real-world educational environments. Uh, so let's move on. To here, there's some specific case studies that demonstrate how integrating cognitive balance strategies has led to significant improvements in learning outcomes across various educational contexts. So in the first case study, this was a primary school faced challenges with student engagement and increasing levels of stress among students, resulting in a decline in academic performance and classroom participation. The intervention included mindfulness integration, where the school incorporated daily mindfulness sessions at the beginning of each day, teacher training, where educators were trained to facilitate mindfulness exercises and to model cognitive balance in their interactions, curriculum alignment, mindfulness concepts were integrated into subjects like literature and science to reinforce practice. The outcomes included reduced stress levels as students reported feeling calmer and more focused as measured by self-assessment surveys. Improved academic performance. There was a measurable increase in test scores, particularly in subjects requiring concentration and critical thinking. Enhanced classroom behavior. Teachers observed a decrease in disruptive behaviors and increase in collaborative learning. So basic analysis from this case is how it demonstrates that addressing the emotional component of cognitive balance can positively impact thoughts, enhance focus, and behaviors, engage participation. So another case study we can just quickly go through here is, so here we had a middle school uh, where it was noticed that the students were struggling with math anxiety, leading to avoidance of challenging problems and lower achievement levels. So the intervention they brought out was growth mindset workshops, introduced sessions teaching students that abilities can develop through dedication and hard work. Positive reinforcement, teachers emphasized effort and progress over correctness, celebrating mistakes as learning opportunities, and parental involvement. Workshops were held to educate parents on fostering a growth mindset at home as well. So the outcomes was increased confidence, where students exhibited greater willingness to tackle difficult math problems, higher test scores, math proficiency levels improved significantly on standardized assessments, and positive attitude shift. There was a noticeable change in students' attitudes toward math, viewing it as an exciting challenge rather than a daunting task. So, by reshaping thoughts about learning potential, the intervention positively influenced emotions, reduced anxiety, and behaviors by increasing persistence, showcasing the power of cognitive balance in enhancing academic achievement. So our next case study is at a high school where social emotional learning was implemented for behavioral improvement. So there were high rates of disciplinary incidents at this high school, affecting the overall learning environment and student well-being. So the intervention was an SEL curriculum adoption. The school implemented a comprehensive SEL program focusing on self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, relationship skills, and responsible decision making. They employed restorative practices, shifting from punitive disciplinary measures to restorative approaches that encourage accountability and empathy, and staff development. Teachers received training on SEL strategies to integrate into daily instruction. The outcomes included reduced disciplinary actions. In this particular case, there was a 40% decrease in suspensions and office referrals. Improved academic outcomes, GPA averages increased and dropout rates decreased, and enhanced school climate. Surveys within the school itself indicated higher levels of student connectedness and safety perceptions. So, addressing emotions and behaviors through social emotional learning contributed to cognitive balance, resulting in positive shifts in thoughts through increased empathy and responsibility, and fostering a more conducive learning environment. Our next case study is in a university where students were struggling with reading comprehension, particularly with complex texts impacting their performance across subjects. So similarly, there was the intervention applied here was metacognitive skill development, where teachers incorporated lessons on predicting, questioning, clarifying, and summarizing texts. There was reflective journaling. Students maintain journals to reflect on their reading processes and comprehension strategies, and peer collaboration. So, structured group activities allowed students to discuss and share metacognitive approaches. The outcomes included enhanced comprehension skills, uh, reading scores improved, independent learning, students became more self directed, and transferable skills. Improvement was seen not only in language arts, but also in understanding content in science and social studies. So, by focusing on thoughts and promoting self awareness of cognitive processes, students achieved balance that improved behaviors, active reading strategies, and influenced emotions, greater confidence, enhancing their performance. We'll move on to our last case study, which is parent engagement enhancing cognitive balance at home and school. So recognizing that learning doesn't stop at the school gates, there was an intervention that was brought in, and where there were interactive workshops. So sessions were where parents learned about cognitive balance and strategies to reinforce it at home. Resource sharing, you know, there was materials on mindfulness, growth mindset, emotional intelligence for families, and projects that required parent-student collaboration as well, strengthening relationships and reinforcing learning. So this strengthened family bonds, and by spending quality time together and enhancing communication and understanding. Parents and teachers were brought on the same page. Students received consistent messages about managing thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, and it built community by through the parents forming support networks and fostering a sense of community around the school. So involving parents extended cognitive balance beyond the classroom, creating a supportive ecosystem that nurtured students' development in all three components. So these examples demonstrate that cultivating cognitive balance is not just beneficial for individuals, students, or teachers, but has a ripple effect. Uh, It enhances learning, well-being, personal development, supports professional fulfillment and teaching effectiveness, and strengthens relationships and creates supportive environments. Also produces well-rounded, empathetic, and adaptable individuals. So we have a brief interactivity. It's a short quiz to assess your own thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. There's a Google form. You can either follow the QR code. I'll also share a link in the chat. I see a lot of questions about the case studies. I can provide the particular schools I got the case studies from as well later. So let's just shift gears for the moment and try this interactive exploration of your own cognitive balance. This brief quiz is designed not just as a self-assessment, but as a mirror reflecting how your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors align in your daily experiences. By the end of this activity, you should be able to gain personal insights that can illuminate your journey toward greater cognitive harmony. So it's just a 12-question survey using a Likert scale from strongly disagree to strongly agree. Um, I will try and share the responses as well. And yeah, so everyone who's registered, or if you weren't able to register, please share your email IDs in the chat. and I will share the presentation as. And yes, there are different measures for cognitive balance. It's actually quite surprising that this concept hasn't been regarded more over the last decade or two. Uh, I'm currently working on an app that measures cognitive balance and helps shift your beliefs, your thought patterns, or your emotions and behaviors for more harmony as well. Thank you, Derry.
Later.
I've
Great.
provided the link as well.
Oh, in the chat? Great. I'll get it there.
I'm not seeing that, Karanbir.
Does the Google form come back to you anonymized?
It's anonymous, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
I've kept it anonymous.
Good, because I was honest.
Great.
Really interested in whether family background or early childhood is somehow measured alongside how cognitive dissonance is developed.
So when we look at cognitive dissonance, it's not just in our you know relationships within the home. It's also the dissonance caused by all of our socioeconomic systems. And how we manage that is, first of all, we have to understand it. We have to be aware of it. So, you know how people were considered woke some time ago, and now we're demonizing that wokeness. We're demonizing it because they didn't know what to do next. Now that we're aware, what next? And so that woke movement has also been disregarded, unfortunately. But yes, there are ways to, it starts at a very individual level. For example, social emotional learning can be compared to it, but social emotional learning is particularly or specifically in a social context, whereas cognitive balance goes deeper into the individual context within a social framework.
Yeah. Let me talk for you, Derry.
Oh, no.
Thank you for that. So, Rebecca, thanks for that question as well about the quiz. I was in two minds. I had a very different idea for the quiz, but I thought I'd keep it more basic. Yes, this can be applied to different demographics and ages, but we'd rather customize it to particular groups more. And the other quiz I had in mind was actually to bring out things that we avoid, the discomfort that we avoid. And I wanted to point that out in the quiz, but maybe next time. So understanding where we currently stand is vital. The reflections you've just shared highlight not only personal areas for growth, but also mirror the challenges faced in educational environments. So we can explore some practical techniques now to foster cognitive balance so we can equip ourselves and learners with tools to navigate these challenges effectively. Just a final thought on that. This activity wasn't just a momentary reflection. It is kind of like a stepping stone towards meaningful change. By shining a light on your inner workings, you're taking an active role in cultivating cognitive balance. Uh, Remember, awareness ignites transformation, and every small insight brings you closer to a more harmonious integration of thoughts, emotions, and actions. Great. So, just some uh, basic techniques and practices that are common and can be shared. Um, so these techniques are not just theoretical concepts, they're practical tools that you can integrate into your daily life to cultivate cognitive balance. We'll explore a little bit about mindfulness exercises, journaling, and reflective practices that enhance self-awareness, reduce stress, and promote resilience. So mindfulness exercises, so mindfulness is the art of fully engaging with the present moment. It's about observing your thoughts and emotions without judgment, allowing you to respond to experiences with clarity rather than reacting impulsively. So some techniques for mindfulness are mindfulness breathing. The purpose is to center your mind, reduce stress, and enhance focus. Use phrases like breathing in, I am aware of my inhale, breathing out, I'm aware of my exhale. Then there's body scan meditation, another example of mindfulness. The purpose is to increase bodily awareness and release tension. Notice the sensations, notice the warmth, notice the tension, notice any tingling, notice any discomfort, and acknowledge and release. As you identify any areas of tension, imagine breathing into that spot and releasing the discomfort on your exhale. Then there's mindful observation. Purpose of mindful observation is to enhance focus and appreciation for your surroundings. Uh, a simple way to practice it would be to choose an object, a natural object like a leaf, stone, or flower. Engage fully with it, observe it as if seeing it for the first time. Notice colors, textures, shapes, and patterns, and stay present. If your thoughts drift, gently return to your focus on the object. Then we can move on to another practice or technique which is journaling. Again, a very prominent technique that's suggested. So writing down your thoughts and feelings is a powerful way to process experiences, and it's very overlooked these days as writing is really reduced. It helps clarify emotions and track personal growth. So then there's gratitude journaling, there's goal-oriented journaling, there is yeah, it's just different ways to practice it. Then we have reflective practices. Reflection bridges experience and learning, transforming moments into meaningful insights. So, then there's appreciative inquiry as well, where we focus on strengths and successes to inspire positive change. Uh, So, there's other practices such as cognitive restructuring, where we can transform unhelpful thinking patterns into positive, constructive thoughts. Uh, you can reframe your thought, replace it with a more balanced perspective. For example, changing I always mess up presentations to I have had successful presentations and I can prepare to make this one go well too. Uh, then there's progressive muscle relaxation. So a lot of techniques. There's visualization techniques. The purpose would be to use mental imagery to reduce stress and enhance positive thinking. You can select a peaceful scene to do that. Beach, forest, mountain. You can visualize colors, hear the sounds, feel the textures, immerse yourself. So, and this is not just for students or learners, it's for educators, it's for professionals, and for parents and caregivers as well. So just before we move on to your questions, thank you so much, everyone, for sitting through that with me. And I'd love to take some questions.